Welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm here with Moya Bailey to talk about her film, You Just Watch and See. Let's take a look at a clip.
To live as long as I can. Being able to get back to traveling like I wanted to. I did a lot of traveling after I retired. I went to Rome, I went to Turkey, I went to Madrid, Spain. And don't worry about nothing. Right now, I don't worry about a thing. If I can't fix it, I don't worry about it.
Moya, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming to talk to us about your really inspiring, wonderful film.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So tell us, what was the inspiration for this film? How did you meet Miss Dolly Alexander?
Miss Dolly Alexander is my cousin, or my auntie, as I call her. She is my mom's first cousin, so my cousin once removed. And I've been working on a larger film project called Misogynoir in Medicine, looking at Black women's experiences as providers, both as patients and providers. So she was somebody I really wanted to interview, both because of her experience as a patient and then later as a provider.
So how much time did you get to spend with her beforehand, and at what point did you decide that you wanted to make a film about her?
One of the things that's so interesting is that I met Dolly with my mom just on a trip when my mom came to visit me in Chicago. And in the process, she told me about this experience she had getting into this accident. And I was like, I really want to talk to you about what happened to you. And she was so excited to welcome me and my friends into her home. And we did an interview in the course of an afternoon. And in the process, we realized, oh, there's a lot here. There's a lot here that's not going to fit into the feature-length film, particularly this story about her accident. So I wanted to capture that and give her a bit of her own life back through a short film.
So you said you shot this film in one afternoon. So how much of it is the film, or how much did you have to edit out, and how did you sort of craft the story that you wanted from the conversation you had with her?
We did have to do some editing. Dolly has such incredible stories about her experience being a nurse and working at the VA hospital in Chicago, and that is going to end up in the feature film, Misogynoir in Medicine. But for this story, we really wanted to focus on this accident, how she became interested in being a nurse, and also her own interest in traveling the world. And these were things that felt so important and central to her life, but didn't quite fit the scope of the larger project, the feature film. So it became an opportunity to tell her story, tell a bit about girlhood to adulthood, and what happened along the way.
So in the course of that afternoon, what was your production crew like to shoot this amazing interview that afternoon?
The funny thing about my crew is that they are my best friend and her husband. So we started talking about Misogynoir in Medicine, the feature film, because Jason is a cinematographer and wanted to have an opportunity to work on some projects outside of his day job. And I am a professor and have been studying these issues of social disparities in health, particularly what happens to Black women when they go to the doctor. And I didn't want to write another academic book. I didn't want to write another article that was going to be behind a paywall. I wanted to create an opportunity to meet people where they were. And that's what this film became. So working with Jason became an opportunity for us to lure Whitney in as a producer. So that's how the crew came together.
Wow, that's really, really wonderful. So is this your first film as a director of a documentary?
Technically, it's my second. In undergrad, I did a film using iMovie, and it was about social activism on my campus. I was a student at Spelman College, and we did a lot of activism around representations of women in the media, and that short film, Sisters on the Sojourn, is is available if you're interested on YouTube.
So Dolly's such an inspiring person. Given the background of the kind of work that you've done, what was the most inspiring thing that she said that you took away from the conversation?
The most inspiring thing Dolly said was just, I don't worry about it. It's kind of towards the end of the film, and I was asking her what her dreams were, and she says, I give it up, and if it's not a big deal, if I can't do anything about it, I don't worry about it. And I felt like that's just great advice for living your life. If you can't do anything about it, don't worry about it, leave it alone. And I think that served her well, and hopefully it will serve me well now that I've taken that on.
So given your background as an activist, what can you take away from the process of making this film and the film itself in your future aspirations as a filmmaker and as an activist?
I am new to calling myself a filmmaker, and this project really solidified for me that this is a track I want to go down. So I am taking away that sense of a new identity that is, to me, going to make it easier to tell stories that I think are not really highlighted in mainstream media. I'm excited to tell more stories of people who sometimes fall through the cracks and, are part of some just everyday magic in terms of how they live their lives. There's so many stories like Dolly's of people who are unassuming, people you've never heard of, who have done incredible things and lived incredible lives. And I really hope that both with narrative film and with documentary, that I'm going to be part of telling their stories and bringing them to screen.
You're absolutely right. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So what advice could you offer to someone who has, comes from the world of research and academia and activism and social work and want to move into film? What was the one thing you learned that you would like to share?
One of the things I learned was that don't go it alone. There's a wonderful project in Chicago called Sisters in Cinema that's designed to help Black women and other marginalized filmmakers get access to making films and access to directors and people who've worked on projects. And so Yvonne Welbon is one of the people who really inspired me, created a space and a template for me to move forward and move beyond an academic activist role that I understood myself in. So I would say don't go it alone. Find the resources that are going to help you enter into this new understanding of yourself. That's
great advice. So tell us, where can we follow you and learn more about the work you're doing, your other film that you made, and anything else you may have coming up in the future?
If you want to learn more about me and my work, you can go to moyabailey.com. There's also youjustwatchandsee.com about this film particularly, and misogynoirandmedicine.com, the feature that's going to be coming real soon.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I really enjoyed speaking with you, and I really enjoyed your film. So inspiring.
Thank you so much, and it's been a real pleasure. Thanks for taking the time.